Welcome to Dr. CM Edcast, your go-to resource for medical learning. Through discussions, case studies, tutorials, and debates, we help you learn, grow, serve.
All right, let's dive into one of the most incredible plumbing systems in the entire human body, the blood flow to your kidneys. It is a high-speed, high-pressure world that is absolutely essential for keeping you alive. So let's get right to it. To kick things off, let's just try to get our heads around this number, 20%. With every single beat of your heart, a full fifth of all the blood it pumps goes directly to your kidneys. Think about that. These two little organs are getting a massive share of your body's entire blood supply every single second. So the big question is, why? So here's our game plan for this journey. We're going to start with the big picture, why the kidneys are such a blood flow hotspot. Then we'll map out the arterial highway system they use. After that, we'll zoom way in to the microscopic filtration units, see how the actual sieve works, and finally, uncover the brilliant way the kidney controls this powerful, constant flow.
First up, the body's busiest waterway. And trust me, calling these organs superstars when it comes to blood flow isn't an exaggeration at all.
That 20% of cardiac output works out to an incredible 1,200 milliliters per minute. But here's the kicker. Unlike other organs that need blood for oxygen and nutrients, the kidneys need this insane volume to do their main job, filtering your blood to get rid of waste. And, this is absolutely crucial, that flow has to be kept unbelievably stable through a process called autoregulation. Remember that term, because it's the key to the whole operation. Okay, to handle that much blood, you need a seriously efficient delivery system. The best way to think about it is like a superhighway that branches off into smaller and smaller city streets. And here it is in action. You can see that main renal artery, that's the interstate, plunging into the kidney. Then it just branches out again and again, dividing into smaller roads to make sure every single nook and cranny gets a steady supply of blood. So let's trace the route of a single drop of blood. It comes in on that main highway, the renal artery. It then takes an exit onto the interlobar arteries that run up between those pyramid-like structures. From there, it curves onto the arcuate arteries, kind of like a ring road, before turning onto the much smaller interlobular streets. And finally, it pulls into a very specific driveway, the tiny afferent arteriole. And that's our destination. All right, we've gone from the highway system down to a single driveway. Now we're going to zoom in, way in, to meet the tiny engine where all the real work gets done. Meet the nephron. So just how many of these little workhorses are we talking about? Get this. Each one of your kidneys is packed with about 1.2 million of them. They're the tiny individual factories that are actually cleaning your blood. It's incredible. Now, it turns out not all nephrons are built the same. As you can see here, the vast majority, about 85%, are cortical nephrons. Think of them as the standard model, focused on getting waste out. But then there's the other 15%, the juxtamedullary nephrons. They're the specialists. They have that really long plumbing section, the loop of Henle, that dives deep into the kidney. Their special job? Concentrating urine, which is how your body conserves water when you need it. This brings us to the very front end of the nephron, the exact point of filtration. Welcome to the glomerular sieve. This is where the kidney has to make its first, most important decision, separating the bad stuff from all the good stuff your body needs to keep. So what exactly is a glomerulus? Well, it's just a tiny, tangled-up ball of very specialized capillaries. Remember that afferent arteriole, the little driveway we followed? That's the in-pipe. Blood rushes in, gets filtered under high pressure, and then whatever is left over exits through the outpipe, the efferent arteriole. This diagram gives us a fantastic view of that setup. See the afferent arteriole on the left bringing blood in. It splits into that tangled tuft of capillaries. And then all those little vessels gather back together into the efferent arteriole to carry the remaining blood away. The whole structure is designed for one reason, to build up pressure and force fluid out of the blood. So let's zoom in even closer, right onto the filtration barrier itself. This isn't just some simple coffee filter. As you can see here, it's a sophisticated 3-layer system that's incredibly picky about what it lets through. Okay, so here's how these 3 layers work together like a high-tech security system. First, the wall of the capillary itself is full of pores. They're called fenestrations, and they let water and other small stuff out. The second layer, the basement membrane, works like a net, catching any big molecules like proteins that try to escape. And that final layer is made of these amazing cells called podocytes, which create these tiny filtration slits as a final checkpoint. Only water and small waste products can make it through all three.
This brings us to our last big topic, controlling that constant flow. With all this high-pressure filtration going on, how does the kidney keep everything from going haywire when your blood pressure changes? The answer is a truly elegant system of self-regulation.
Yeah, this quote from our source material really says it all. The kidney is an absolute master of maintaining stability. It can adjust its own blood flow on the fly to keep filtration rates perfectly steady, even when your body's overall blood pressure is bouncing around.
So how does it do it? It's all about controlling the pipes. Check out the diagram on the left. If the kidney needs to lower the pressure, it just tightens the inflow pipe, that afferent arteriole. Less blood gets in, and the pressure inside the filter drops. Now look at the diagram on the right. If it wants to increase the pressure, it squeezes the outflow pipe, the efferent one. That creates a little traffic jam that jacks the pressure up inside. By constantly adjusting these two valves, the kidney fine-tunes its filtration with incredible precision. And one of the cleverest ways it knows how to make those adjustments is through something called tubuloglomerular feedback. It's basically a quality control system. Further down the nephron, it senses the fluid it just filtered and sends a signal back to the start to tell the glomerulus to either speed up or slow down.
This diagram shows that amazing feedback loop in action. There's a group of special sensor cells called the macula densa, and they're constantly checking the filtered fluid. If they sense things are moving too fast, they send a chemical signal straight back to that in-pipe, telling it to tighten up and slow the whole process down. It's a constant automatic conversation happening in millions of nephrons all at once, just to keep everything perfectly balanced. So, when you step back and look at the whole thing, from that massive, rushing river of blood entering the kidney, down to the intricate three-layered sieve in the glomerulus, and the brilliant feedback systems that control it all, the journey of blood through the kidney is nothing short of a biological masterpiece. This remarkable system works non-stop, fine-tuning your entire body every minute of every day. It really makes you think, doesn't it? What happens to our health when this delicate, powerful, and perfect balance is lost? That's a question really worth considering.